Hi, this is Dr. Toby Moma, your host on Health and Wellness. What a pleasure, what an honor to have you on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're so delighted that you tuned in today. What a great show we have in store for you. Dr. Shrina Saxenda is a Indian born, Russian trained American immigrant, currently working in the United States on her master's in public health at the Louisiana State University in Shreveport. And she's come to share her wealth of experience about her country, India, about her travels across the nations, and also about her experience in the public health field in the United States of America. And she's such a vital resource in a place like Louisiana and in other parts of the world where there's such a huge need for information that makes a difference. She's been sharing with us about India and the background to India and the culture and the health indices, economic indices. She's been sharing with us about the public health initiatives that are close to her heart: smoke cessation, immunizations, prenatal counseling. We're going to go a little bit further into that today and talk about women, violence against women. Dr. Shrina, you're welcome on the show. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. What an honor to have you on the show today. In the last few years, I would say months, there's been an upsurge of women being abused in India. I mean, we hear stories. I mean, you are from India, so you can tell me if it's validated or just rumors. Women being gang raped in broad daylight. And in fact, I know there was a riot a few years ago
Yes.
or months ago because the people were so incensed about it. I mean, it kind of came up around the same time of the Me Too movement,
Yes.
but I think it's a little bit more different. It's a little different. See, the Me Too movement was also talking about male predominance in the workplace and female marginalization, and I don't want to say it was, but the Indian story was more of abuse and rape and sexual violence.
Hmm.
So just tell me a little bit, is that true? Is there a history of sexual violence in India, or is it just something somebody has made up about India?
No, let me put it this way. India is one of the most unsafe country to travel for women, according to the latest data. So sadly, but that is the truth, that the rape rates in India, they say that every 10 second, one girl or one child is raped in India. So that's very, very sad. I wish I can do something more about it, but like you said, there was this case of Nirbhaya, which we call it. This girl was a physiotherapist, and she was going after her class. She was going back to her dorm, and she took a public bus in the city of New Delhi, which happens to be the capital city of India. And it was a very, very busy road where she took that bus and she was heading home. And it was, I think it was 5:30 in the evening. No, I think it was 7:30 in the evening. From 7:30 till 10 o'clock, she was raped in that bus by seven men. And the bus driver did not stop. It went round and round in the most busy areas of the city, and that girl was raped through. This is what I've heard. I've read about it, and I believe that there is a lot of truth in it. This happened in 2014. I was in New Delhi. I was working as a physician in New Delhi. So I that this case was very, very close to my heart, because she was just like, she was a student. She was a healthcare professional, just like me, educated, well established, like independent girl, and she was raped with metal rods, which led her uterus and even her intestine to get ruptured. And then she was thrown out of that bus in a dump yard. And there was this other car which was coming right behind that bus, and they saw them. It was dark, it was November, so there's early night. So this fellow in the other car saw that somebody was thrown out of that bus by the driver or someone, and he reported to the police, because that thing which was found was alive, but the soul, the everything was taken out of that girl during those 3 hours of her life, and it was very sad. So there was a march, there was a protest in India. uh, there were seven men who were involved. actively involved in this rape, there were two juveniles out of the seven. So we had a march. We went there, me and my husband. We had a candle march outside the parliament, which is like a capital state building, like you have in United States. It was a big deal, and the thing which we have come up with in recent year is there's death penalty for the individuals who rape a minor, especially a minor.
Wow.
So now it is a big deal.
But it has happened again since then.
A lot of times, and it is still happening. It is sad, but it's still happening.
So some men see women as a sexual object to be conquered. They don't care about the person. They just see her as a tool.
Yes, there was this foster home. This is recent. This is this year. There was this foster home where they kept 19 juvenile girls in the thing that they are educating them. They are providing them a place to stay, a sheltered home, and those girls were actually, they did not have parents, so they were left or dropped there at that foster home to be taken care of. But those girls were continuously being raped and sexually abused, and actually they were selling them for a night or so, and that whole group got caught. I think in May 2019 they were busted, and those girls were taken out of there and sent to protected places. But it is very, very sad that this is happening. And there was a case where a 3 months old girl was raped, and that is inhumane for me, and I wish we can do more about it.
Now, in America, we have the war against sex trafficking. We have, I don't know if you've heard of DART, DART, but basically it's an organization against violence in sexual violence, marital violence, and it's very strong in Mississippi and Louisiana. So if you go back, look it up. But what can we learn from the history of sexual violence in America that you can take back to India? What do you think the Indian community can implement to reduce? I'm not saying it doesn't happen in America, but it looks like as if there's a structure to step in and stop it from getting worse in America if it happens. For example, the DART have annual meetings. There's, in America, you're a sex offender. You have this restriction. You can't go near children. So I don't know if that has been talked about in India. Is there sex trafficking in India? Can a child be abducted and used as a sex slave? America has those issues, but I want to know if we can learn anything from America to help the other parts of the world.
Uh, yes, the first and foremost, what I would want to bring to light is that in India, 96% of the time, girls who are raped or sexually abused, they do not come out and open up about their experience to the police or the officials or the, like you said, DART. We have several other organizations in India which are there to help the women or girls in need. They do not come out and talk about it for the fear of being abandoned by the society and friends and family, and in the future, who is going to marry them? So see, there is,
Ostracized, right?
yes.
They get ostracized in that
Yes.
type.
So the family, like suppose a girl comes and tells the mother, okay, I was sexually abused by so and so. Okay, well, you don't go out and tell that to anyone else. You know what? Then nobody's gonna marry you. No good family is gonna be ready to take you as their bride and stuff like that. So all these, I don't know how to explain that, but those are there in undereducated societies. Those things are still there, that girls have to be all like
Right.
perfect in every single way to get wedded, to get married in a good family. So
So,
96% of the time they do not come out and speak about it. So 96% of the time those sex offenders are freely there on the roads, and nothing has been done about it. So that's one side of the story. I wish that people there are so educated and aware that they come out with their stories and open up about it. But unfortunately, that's not happening.
does it affect the prevalence of STDs? I mean, the average person who gets raped, there's a high risk.
of STDs.
Yeah, I don't know, but I haven't heard of India having high STD
Mm-mm.
rates.
No.
So maybe it's just
It's like a
randy men
yeah.
with
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, STDs is not as big an issue. HIV is not. Drugs is. Uh, but STDI, I've practiced over 4 years. It's not as big as issue, but they do get checked. If a poor woman comes out and tell that they were raped, there is a fixed protocol like we have in United States that they will be checked for
Checked out.
pregnancy and STDs and everything, and those are in place in India too. But majority of the time, like I said, they don't come out and speak about it.
Wow, that's sad. Tell us about you and your husband. When did you meet? And because you can see from my questions that marriage has been taking a hard hit in America. I mean, if you read statistics, they say 25 to 30% of women have been either raped or sexually abused in America at one time in their life. I think the last I read was
40%.
20%. Sorry,
Wow.
you think it's
It's
more? You
40%?
think it's
Wow.
more?
No, no,
40%?
I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
it's like 20 to 40% of women in America have at one time or the other been molested, abused, emotionally, sexually, or physically. So it takes America is going through a spirit of marital trauma. A lot of marriages are splintered. There's violence. There's discord. There's division. We have the highest single parent population right now than we've ever had in the history of the United States. Some, like Wisconsin, 80% of the African American children are being raised by single parents.
Wow.
Okay. I know in Mississippi, 70% of the children are being raised by their mothers alone. 70%. So the question is, why is this going on and what can we do about it? So let's learn a little bit about you and your husband. You've been married for how many years now?
Officially, 4 years.
Okay.
Officially 4 years, but we've known each other for 14 years now, and
Okay.
we were in relationship for 11 years. So
Oh.
that's sort of part of
Do
it.
you guys, India, do they still do the early betrothals like you?
No child marriage?
Yeah, child marriage.
Oh yeah, some parts they do. They
What,
do.
what does that mean? That means if you're a 5-year-old girl, they tell you this man is going to be your husband.
It could be even less than that. It could be even less than that. A child marriage is anything which is decided by the parents before puberty. So it can be 5 years. It can be even as soon as you're born, and you fix the wedding. Okay, I have a son. You have a daughter. After 18 years, we're gonna marry them off.
Okay.
So that
But it's
is
not
something.
official. I mean, the girl can change her
That's
mind.
illegal, in fact. Yeah. No,
Oh,
no, 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 no. If the parents have this. Okay, so in India, we have arranged the concept of arranged marriages. Arranged marriages is something when the bride and groom are not given a chance to decide if you want to get together or not. Um, it is decided by the parents and the other members of the family. If the boy is suitable for you, you go meet the boy for one time, that just one time, with like 100 people staring at you, 200 eyes looking at you. So you barely know anything about the groom, and the groom barely knows anything about the bride. But then after a month or so, you're married off to that groom, to that family. So that is arranged marriages. So that is one very interesting part. Like arranged marriages, I'm not saying that completely it will not work out. My parents were arranged marriage too, but their marriage worked out for 49 years. But it is something a person like me will not take it readily because I want to know the person who
you're
I
going to
spend my
spend the
life.
rest of your life with. It's amazing. But you just said that it is not, you cannot come out of it. That's what I don't get. If a girl wakes up 23, at the age of 23, and says, I want to marry this American hotshot, I don't want to marry that guy they told me to marry in India. I mean,
Mm.
are they going to stop her?
There's going to be a lot of family pressure, I can tell you that. There's going to be a lot of family pressure, but yes, the girl can move out of the wedding.
Did money change hands as a 5-year-old or 3-year-old? Did anything change hands in
Mm.
terms of between the two families
I don't know
Was
if
there a
you
contract signed? Was there,
I don't know if you're aware of dowry.
yeah, dowry, yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if our people in Louisiana or Mississippi will be aware of this term called dowry. Now, dowry is a sum of money which is given by the bride's family to the groom's family, as it used to be as a token of respect, but now it is completely manipulated over centuries, and it is like the groom's family will say, okay, I want so many dollars, and we are going to take your daughter, and we're going to keep her for her entire life, take care of her, and it could be $10,000, it could be a Mercedes, it could be a land property, it could be anything. So dowry plays a very, like you're saying, any contract, that dowry is the contract. We've already paid you the dowry, so that dude is booked for our daughter.
So tell us your own scenario. What happened? You and your husband.
I saw
Was
my
it dowry?
husband.
Was it arranged? Was it
Oh
betrothal?
no, ours was absolutely not arranged. If we left our parents to decide who we are gonna marry, he's gonna marry somebody absolutely different from me, and I'm gonna marry somebody absolutely different from what he is. Or but we I saw him for the first time in 2005 November in a corridor, and he was wearing peach color pants and I think a neon green color shirt. And as soon as I crossed, and I thought to myself, what a crazy fellow. But I did not knew at that moment that that craziness was going to last so long in my life. We definitely had a pseudo breakups because we knew that our families are very different. We are Hindus, but we are of different caste, subcaste. So we knew that our families are going to have issues, especially our father. He's from a business class family. I'm from a attorney's family. So our fathers and our families altogether are not going to gel. So okay, why just get into complications, and let's marry to the places where they want us to get married, arranged marriage. Even though I had a thing in my heart that no, Lord, this is the person for me, and good Lord will send him back to me. But it was not until he made up his mind that okay, now you know what, we are gonna try, give it a try. And when his dad found out about me that I'm from a different caste and I'm from a different kind of a family, he did not eat for 2.5 days. He quit eating, and so I still remember it was 9 o'clock at night, and my husband secretly called me. I was in my city, my hometown in India. We were doing our internship, and he called me from his hometown, which is like 11 hours by train. So it is like way off, way, like if I'm in Monroe right now, he is in Colorado maybe. So he called me and said that, you know what, I cannot see my father like that, and he's not talking to me, and he's not eating food. So let's give up. So I said, yeah, if that's what it is. I did not talk to my dad. So
So you had finished medical school at this time,
yes, it was
and
in
he was in
2000.
medical school, or he had finished.
We both finished at the same time.
But
So
he went to school in India.
no, he went to in Russia too.
Oh, Russia too. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes. So his dad left. I still remember that night. I still remember, okay, for a good whole 24 hours, I was like, okay, I'm not marrying him anymore. But all of a sudden, I think it was a week later than that, his mother said, mother came to his room and told him that, you know what, your father has said that, show me her picture. And he showed the picture, and he said that I like her. I'm going to talk to her parents. So then it was, in fact, his father who called my dad and asked for me.
So your caste was different,
Yes.
not necessarily lower or higher, just different.
So in Hindus, there is broadly four castes. One is the religious people, second is the warrior caste, third is the business caste, and the last one is the scheduled caste. We call it lowest caste, who people who clean and stuff. So that is how basically it started. So he was from the business caste, and I was from the warrior caste.
So what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Okay, just different caste.
I'm turning Dr. Moma into like, okay, what is happening?
So when did you guys get married? After dating, you saw him in 2005. You didn't marry him until 2013?
15.
15. Oh my
Yes.
word. So you came to the U.S.
In 2015, right after marriage.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. So you guys got married and moved to the U.S.
Yes.
Okay. You worked for a few years, saved up a little bit.
Yes. And then
Okay.
moved here. And then I
Wow.
had my family support, and he had his family support. So.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And you told me a story about your mom and what she went through recently. So what lessons did you learn? I mean, obviously you and your mom are very close,
No,
and
she's the closest thing.
you
Yeah.
know your dad is.
He passed away last year.
I'm so sorry. So this medical issue that your mom had to battle, did it open your eyes to some parts of the American medical system, or did it teach you anything about the priorities of women's health? I mean, what did you
Yeah.
learn from this experience your mom had?
For personally, I felt that walking in the premises of a hospital as a doctor or a healthcare professional is very different than walking into that same hospital building as a patient. And it depends a whole lot on the nurses, on the staff, and on the doctors to make the patient feel comfortable, because the patient is in a very, very stressful position at that time and they really need help. That's why they are there. Nobody wants to go to the hospital because of nothing. I mean, it's not a recreational part, but they are there because they need help. And as a doctor, I thought after that that there's not going to be any single patient who will get out of my clinic or my hospital or my patient to whom I will not be empathetic, compassionate. Uh, that is the biggest responsibility. I personally encountered some doctors who were very, very rash and to the like they were very, very straightforward. There was nothing wrong with it, but I, as a patient at that time, was expecting a little bit more of compassion, because the closest person I have after my dad passed away, I was very close to my dad. I was daddy's daughter. So after my dad passed away, the close person I have to me is my mom. And even though the doctor or the nurses are seeing them as their job,
A patient,
yeah,
right?
uh,
That's your,
uh, take
it's,
away from that whole
yeah,
incident.
there has to be something more. There has to be empathy and compassion. Tell me, what are the difficulties in being married to a fellow physician? I mean, are there ups and downs of being married to a fellow doctor? Are there benefits of being married to a fellow doctor? I'm sure my viewers are wondering, wow, her husband is a doctor, she's a doctor. They must be swimming in a lot of money, you know.
Oh. Apart from that, what me and my husband really enjoy is sharing our cases, interesting cases. And since we both are from the healthcare field, we connect and we have inputs, and we really enjoy the conversation, short little conversations we have. Had it been a person of other background, like say an engineer, I would not understand a thing about, like
It's
maybe
true.
I do, but so there's a good chance that I do not understand a thing about computers and I will not be
Mhm.
able to communicate well. But as soon as he will say, okay, I saw a patient with hemochromatosis or something, oh really, you did? So that's a good, enjoyable moment for both of us, and at the same time, it's a learning experience too. Okay, I learned from your cases, and you learn from my cases. That kind
Wow.
of a thing. Yes.
How do you combine all your duties, academic, being a wife, being a daughter, being a sister to your church, your sister and your brother? I mean, there are a lot of things you're doing.
Yes.
You're pursuing a master's, you're applying for residency, you're a wife to your husband, you're a daughter to your mother, you're a sister to your siblings. I mean,
It is difficult. It is very, very difficult, and I think uh, I have a very supportive family. My in-laws, my immediate family, my brother, sister, my mom, and especially my husband. They are very, very supportive. They understand, and they expect only some things which they know that in her busy schedule she will be able to fulfill. And like I wanted to ask you that question, because you have so many roles to play, and Dr. Rita has so many roles to play. I mean, you guys are just amazing,
yeah.
and you do. I mean, on a Friday, if I had a schedule like you, I would think of just laying on my couch and watching movies. But Dr. Moma is on the
Well,
run.
Dr. Rita was actually at the CDC in Atlanta yesterday, so she flew into Shreveport and then drove in from Shreveport to
Malibu.
Jackson
Oh.
for the Holy Ghost night. But Yeah, she's doing a lot of work in the
Yeah,
CDC now with the public health. The big thing now is HIV
HIV,
and STDs
STDs.
because of the upsurge in our,
In fact,
health indices.
she is the biggest mentor for our program because LSU Shreveport, Masters of Public Health, Dr. Rita has passed from there, and she's alumni, and she has set up the bars so high by getting to where she is right now that all the students think about her, and
Oh,
we refer to her so many times. And Dr. Rush and Dr. Wissing, our dean and stuff, dean
oh,
and chair, they talk about her, and
awesome. Wow.
it's
So,
great.
so she's resting. I'm the one
She
here
is
today.
resting. All right.
But it's fun being married to a fellow medical person. You
Yes,
can
sir.
talk about things. And, I think it helps you when you have children. You may not have to always go to the doctor because somebody in the house may be able to,
Now that is bad. Being a doctor to
well,
our to
not
our
to diagnose, but at least to eliminate
ele-
the worst things.
yeah.
But I've learned a lot talking with Dr. Shrina about healthcare, about India, about health, public health. We're going to finish up talking about medicine. She's here as a physician in America, and she's cutting her teeth into medicine. And she's going to share with us some of her positive motives, role models, aspirations for the field of medicine. We're hoping to exhaust any questions that you may have about medicine. And I know those of you watching may want to go into a future in medicine. I'm hoping this will inspire you. She's a female, she's a young female, she's a married female, but she still pursued her dreams of coming to America and becoming a physician. I don't see why, if she could do it, you cannot do it too. Don't let your dreams die. Go after those dreams. Live out your dream. Become a dreamer again. Don't kill those dreams. God put those dreams in your heart. He wants you to fulfill them. This is Dr. Toby Moma, Dr. Shrina telling you Jesus is Lord. I'll see you back on the next show next week. God bless you in Jesus' name.